You got the touch.
This is Stan Bush, and this epic video from Optibotimus truly has the touch.
Video review, and thanks to the folks at CapturePrey.com as well as Kapow Toys, today we'll be taking a look at the new Transformers Masterpiece 14 Alert, or Red Alert basically, who is the Cybertronian security director. As you can see, the nice package on here also has the Lamborghini logo, much like the original mold of this figure, Sideswiper Lambor. But again, very small packaging on here. You got Red Alert here on the side, you got his vehicle mode on the side, but you have the official sticker right here of Lamborghini, the little hologram thing, and a whole bunch of stuff that I can't read. Flip around here on the back, and you got probably a read-up or a bio or something. It shows individual images here of obviously his gun, and then the real kind of cool special feature with the little electro things coming out of his head, which we'll touch on in a little bit in case some younger fans don't know what that's all about. But you got his vehicle mode. Obviously you have him standing next to the MP-10 version of Optimus Prime, as well as showing the feature that he can actually fit in the trailer. Now, because this is the exact same mold as Sideswipe, I'm not going to bring an Optimus Prime, and I'm not going to show that comparison because it's already been done. But for comparison, there you go. Look at that. There's a comparison. And then down here shows all the things that are included with this. The figure, his rocket launcher, his gun, the little electro bits for his head, obviously the little collector card, and the instructions. So basically that's about it for the packaging. Now, one thing that I do want to tell you guys, if you are here in the United States and you really are interested in getting this figure, especially after you watch this review and if it confirms that you do want to get it, I managed to work out this little arrangement with Captured Prey. Now, it doesn't necessarily work just for this, it works for just about anything, but there's going to be a coupon code down in the actual video description that'll give you 5% off of anything $25 or more on their website. So basically, the cheapest place online to get this figure is even actually cheaper. And we'll touch on that in a little bit when we actually get to the video, but that's about it for the packaging. So let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Red Alert opened up and out of its packaging. And obviously from what you can see here, there really isn't too much different between this one and the Sideswipe figure that we got a couple months ago. Now, the biggest difference obviously is going to be the paint job, and then of course the emergency vehicle light bar here in the top. Beyond that though, it isn't much different. There is a slight remold in terms of like the shoulders, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. But vehicle mode, you're not seeing much different. Now obviously, here's a Red Alert, and here's Sideswipe, and like I said, just a difference in paint job. I mean, that's all you're really getting with this. That being said though, I still really like the character of Red Alert. It's always been a fun kind of character to pay attention to, because he's kind of like a neurotic mess, always paranoid about things, and that's really kind of weird for a security officer. I mean, you want to have a sense of calm, I suppose, not paranoia, but I guess paranoid people can make good security officers because they're always paranoid that everybody's going to get them. But I don't know. It was just always kind of a fun, weird, quirky kind of character that I just, for some reason, really liked. Now, obviously, you can see that, like I said, the paint job is different, but the other difference is this light bar. Now, if you're not a fan of that, and people have actually complained about this, this actually can remove. It just pegs into the hole that Sideswipe had here on the top. Red Alert has that as well, and if you really wanted to, you can come around here, and that pegs in there. So if you wanted to have that, I suppose. The only problem is sometimes it's a little bit hard to get out. There we go. But I mean, unless you're in California, you probably don't see a lot of Lamborghinis driving around that are emergency vehicles. But beyond that, though, I mean, the vehicle mode, I mean, I absolutely love it. I love the mold on this guy. And obviously, it's going to translate well because, well, Red Alert is basically just a reuse of Sideswipe, even going back to the G1 days. So it really does kind of work. You got FD for fire department. Really nice. You got the Autobot logo here. A smaller Autobot logo. I remember some people complained about this Autobot logo being too big. That's a little bit better of a size, I think. I really do actually kind of wish that size Autobot logo was what was on here. That's just really kind of big and really sticks out. But that's a little bit better, I think. Now, in terms of a paint job, zooming in, it's not too bad. I do notice, like, right around here, you can kind of see it's a little bit sloppy. Then when you come over here,
very smooth throughout the black paint applications on that bit right there. Just this side right here is a little bit sloppy and you can see it. Beyond that though, the paint applications aren't too bad on mine. Now I know some people have gotten some that they look very splotchy, but honestly I think that the paint job, the white application on here looks better than the red application on Sideswipe. With Sideswipe, if you remember, I said it really is obvious that like this whole section up here is black and just had red paint put over it because there was a darkness to that red. Kind of like the black was bleeding through. This one really looks pretty good. I mean, that's a very smooth white. And you don't really notice the black underneath it. You kind of sort of do here, but that's really about it. And then the other thing that I kind of notice is that Lamborghini looks a little crooked there, which kind of sucks, but it's got Countach right there. But beyond that though, very nice applications of the paint, at least on my particular figure, and I hope you guys get nice ones as well, and it's not as widespread of a problem as some people are kind of making it out to be. Now for his accessories, he does come with the little electro bits that come out from his head, kind of denoting when he was going crazy, but he also comes with the gun. I forgot exactly what it's called, but he comes with his gun and he comes with his missile launcher. Starting off first with the gun, it is the exact same gun as what Sideswipe got, just a red version of it, but you can see that this has some, well, maybe you can't see, well, yeah, you can there, a little bit of silver paint on here, so it kind of makes me wonder if this is actually painted red. I don't know why silver would get on there. I mean, obviously this is a silver gun, so I don't know, but the mold for these are identical, and then the mold for his missile, actually, or shoulder missile, is exactly the same. And honestly, that's probably where the silver comes from, because the gimmick is still here. Even on this one, you can take this and you can slide that in there, and that's probably where the silver comes from, because that's actually silver. And then when you come to the light bar, you can see that they actually still have the square hole there that you can take this and you can peg that in there, and it still looks goofy like that. I mean, much like Sideswipe, but this one actually sticks up a little higher now. And then the other kind of downside is when you pull this out, you typically pull out the whole flipping thing, which is actually how I discovered that the light bar removes, and then it went on some forums and I found out that people were complaining about that, so that's how I actually discovered that little bit. But now in terms of the transformation, since we already covered it with Sideswipe, I'm not going to cover it again. It's just kind of redundant. The transformation is exactly the same. So I'm going to put a link down in the video description if you're interested in checking out the instructions on how to transform this guy. But beside that, we're going to take this guy from his vehicle mode and go to his robot mode. And in his robot mode here, we see a very nicely recreated representation of the Red Alert character. One thing that is kind of interesting that I've kind of just really basically noticed is that a lot of the Takara figures usually are based off of the G1 toy, whereas when Hasbro comes around, they give us more of the actual kind of cartoon look. What's interesting is the original G1 toy had a black head. It was the animation that came along that gave him a red head, and we're getting the red-headed version here with Takara, so that's really kind of interesting if you ask me. Beyond that though, you can see that it basically is just a white and red kind of repaint of the Sideswipe figure, and it's not bad really at all. There are some slight mold differences. The biggest that you're going to notice are here on the shoulders. Bringing in Sideswipe, you can see that the upper part of the arms in the shoulder area are actually completely different. Now obviously that's nice and smooth. This one has a bit of faux wheels, which really do kind of nicely replicate the actual wheels, although they are a little bit smaller and they don't spin or anything. But if you remember from the animation, that was one of the differences between Red Alert and Sideswipe. He had the wheels on the outside here, which is a real cool touch. I'm really happy to see that they actually included that. The other bit of difference is on the actual head sculpt. Now zooming in so that you can see that Sideswipe has more of a pointy kind of horn thing, whereas Red Alerts are more squared off, and it's really, the head is the same, it's just this back section here that's different, that actually has the little horn bits on there. But the other part that I've noticed, and honestly I've just now noticed it, are these little white dots that are on the front of his chest, which I know they're a little bit hard to see because white on white, but you can see them right there. Sideswipe does not have that, obviously. That's actually something that the animation did in fact have, so that's a real cool little subtle difference that they didn't need to do, and it's not anything spectacular, it's just a little piece of plastic down inside there that's different. I mean, the chest is exactly the same, that's a separate piece, but you can see that Sideswipe does not have that, and he didn't have it. That's not how his animation actually depicted the chest piece. So that's a real cool little bit. Obviously, you can see that I have Sideswipe's shoulder cannon on the left side, whereas I have red alerts on the right side. Again, that's just more accuracy to the actual animation, something that I prefer just a little bit more. And then something that I like doing that just further differentiates him. One thing that I always liked is that he had the, like his doors were on his arms, much like this is right here. I just actually like folding these out. I don't think it looks too bad, just kind of keep them angled back a little bit more, but it kind of gives that look, which is a little bit, again, more closely accurate to the actual animation. Get that gun out of the way. And just further differentiates him just a little bit from Sideswipe. I think that's really kind of cool. Now, the other bit that he comes with are these little kind of spark things coming out of his, well, head. All you do is just come around here, and they just clip over his ears, like so, and you can have him looking like he's kind of losing his mind. Now, honestly, I don't remember the name of the episode, but I remember it very clearly. This is in reference to a time when he was actually severely damaged to the point where his logic circuits were really hurt, making him a whole lot more paranoid than normal. During that whole thing, it basically made him so paranoid that he actually thought that the Autobots would basically dismantle him and use him for spare parts because of him being damaged. And he also thought one of his best friends, Inferno, was out to take his job as security chief. During that time, Starscream kind of came along and kind of fed into his paranoia and really made him act even more strange. Basically making Red here kind of help Starscream steal something from the Autobots, which I don't remember what it was exactly. But fortunately, he was saved and he was spared, but still paranoid, despite the fact that he actually ended up getting repaired. So that's a really cool touch, and as you can see, it just kind of rests on there and rests over his ears, but that's a really nice addition to this set that really, again, helps differentiate this guy. Now, the bottom line is, should you pick this guy up? Now, it is kind of a very minor character, and we're starting to see that more often with the Masterpiece figures, starting with Sideswipe. But this was a natural reuse of that original mold, and I'm absolutely thrilled that they did it. This is definitely a very fun character and definitely deserves to be on anybody's shelves, especially if you're a big fan of G1. Red's definitely a character that is very niche, but I think has a very substantial enough fan base that warranted Takara to do this. And I'm absolutely thrilled that they did. Now, when it comes to picking this up, your best place is going to be online retailers. It's not available, obviously, in regular retail stores. Now, that being said, the cheapest, most affordable place to pick this guy up is currently Captured Prey, at least here in the United States. Overseas, your best bet is to go through places such as Kapow Toys, which I would absolutely highly recommend using if you guys aren't in the United States. If you are, Captured Prey has this guy at about $78. Now, as I mentioned, with the promo code that's down in the video description, you can actually get 5% off this, making this guy about $74. So as I said earlier, the cheapest place to get this guy is even cheaper just by you guys watching my videos. And I want to thank Captured Prey for hooking us up with that absolutely wonderful offer. But without a doubt, guys, I would absolutely recommend picking him up. He's a very fun character that, as I said, may be niche and kind of one of the minor characters in Transformers, but he's still a G1 character given to us in absolute wonderful detail with a wonderful amount of playability and just looks phenomenal. But that's about it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this look at Masterpiece 14 Red Alert. And until next time, this has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus and twitter.com/optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.